Now, in our first story, the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference says the setting up of a ministerial committee to probe the Ejura violence is not the right move. President Ekumfi yesterday instructed Interior Minister Ambrose Derry to conduct a public inquiry into the disturbances at Ejura that led to the death of 2 people. 4 others have been injured. They've sustained various degrees of injury, and residents clashed with police and military personnel deployed to the area.
To condemn in no uncertain terms the murder of Ibrahim Mohammed, aka Kaka, a social media activist said to be a member of the Fix the Country campaign. We are disgusted at the shooting incident that resulted in the death of 2 of the compatriots of Ibrahim Mohammed, Muntala Mohammed, 25, and Abdel Nasser Yusuf, 25, during a demonstration in Ejura to demand justice over the murder. We have expressed time and again the need for our security agencies to be very professional in the discharge of their duties, especially when it comes to crowd control. Unfortunately, the situation is rather getting out of hand, and this does not augur well for our country. How can one justify the action of the military man seen in the viral video aiming and shooting at unprotected and unarmed civilians in an attempt to stop the demonstration? This act is not only condemnable but criminal and must be investigated and the perpetrators duly punished. This must be done with the urgency it deserves, because citizens are gradually losing trust in the ability of our security agencies to handle such cases effectively and competently. While awaiting action over the death of the 3 and those injured, we appeal to all agitated youth across the country, particularly those of Ejura, to restrain themselves from engaging in acts that can result in social unrest. Those who wish to exercise their fundamental human rights to demonstrate should do so within the limits of the laws of the country. All well-meaning people must deplore and actively discourage the seemingly growing level of intolerance, of divergent views, and undemocratic conduct of security personnel and some government officials. Finally, we wish to express our deepest condolences to the families of our 3 deceased brothers as we pray for healing for the rest of the victims of the gunshots who are receiving treatment at the hospital. May the souls of those who died rest in perfect peace.
We'll come back with more on this story. Live on News Desk with me, Daniel Daze. We'll hear from the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Apeyo-Markin, who has been speaking on this matter. We'll also bring you a lot more developments that have come up since yesterday. Stay with us. This is Joy News Desk. You're live on JoyNews Desk. Thank you for staying with us. Now, fisherfolk in the Keta municipality of the Volta region are demanding livelihood support from government during the closed season period. According to them, the closure of the season would worsen their living conditions within the 1-month period. According to them, they are yet to recover from the havoc caused by the coronavirus pandemic. The stipends from government is what they are expecting will cushion from their livelihoods. Now, the close season, which is one of the recommendations by the European Union to restore Ghana's depleting fish stock, starts from today, the 1st of July to the 31st of July for canoe and inshore fishers, and from 1st July to 31st August for industrial trawlers.
It's sunrise here at the London Beach in Keta, in the Keta municipality of the Volta region. Most of the fisherfolks have returned from the night's expedition and are making efforts to pull their nets out. As the fishermen dock their boats, the women parade the shores with their bowls to purchase the fish and prepare them for sales. This has been the phenomenon here every morning except Sundays. However, starting from the 1st of July, fishing activities in Ghana's marine waters would cease. The closed season introduced as an intervention to restore the depleting fish stock, is from 1st July to 31st July for canoe and inshore fishers, and from 1st July to 31st August for industrial trawlers. Kosi, who inherited the fishing profession from his father, fears the policy would bring hardship to their families within the period. We were not consulted before a decision was taken on the clothes season. We had to stop fishing for about a month. What will we survive on? We have school fees, medical bills, among others, to pay. It now behoves on females to take care of their household, since their husbands would be idle at home within the period. Mansa Aholumega laments the period would be a difficult one for her 5-member family. We, the women, take care of our husbands and children during the hard times. We didn't receive any support during the 2019 clothes season, which is why we are concerned about the plans of government for us this year. We are in a period of hunger. We have endured enough hunger during the peak of the coronavirus pandemic. We moved to neighboring Togo to work in bad times, but we can't do that now because the borders are closed. Badly for us, prices of food commodities are increasing. The government must provide us with some form of support within the closed season.
12 cities.
Speaking at the ceremony to officially declare the clothes season, the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Ekumfi, addressed the concerns of the fisher folks.
We have tried to come out with some support, but we are still doing the procurements. We need to follow the procurement process. So very soon, within a week or two, you see us coming round to your regions, your fishing communities, to give you something small so you can take care of the children. Government cannot give you physical money because you are over 20-something thousand members. Government cannot give you money to sustain you. The only thing we can do is the ministry to support you with something small to take care of the children. We're also coming round with some fishing nets. And it tells you that you don't have to use the unauthorized fishing net when that fishing net is given to you. We're going to leave no stone unturned. Please, I'm not here to arrest anybody, but if you fall into my trap, I will not spare you.
The Volta Regional Chief Fisherman, Seth Kede, advocated for the formation of monitoring units to ensure compliance within the period. The acting president of the Ghana Industrial Trawlers Association, Stephen Ajokache, pledged his association's commitment to bringing Seiko to an end. Togbi Siri III lauded the government's efforts to restore the depleting fish stock and reminded it of a yet-to-be-fulfilled campaign promise. The government promised to construct a fishing harbour here. We are pleading with the government to act on its promise. We believe the presence of a harbour here would propel the local economy and enhance livelihoods. Libation was poured and prayers were said to commence the clothes season in Ghana's marine waters. Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Qatar.
You're live on JoyNews Desk with me, Daniel Daze, and that was a report by Fred Kwame Asari. Now, meanwhile, as the closed fishing season begins today, the minority in Parliament is predicting the move will not achieve its intended purpose because of government's decision to increase license fees for vehicle owners of vessel owners by 300%. Ranking member on Parliament's Agric Committee, Eric Opoku, accuses government of cheating fisherfolks by increasing the license fees for vessel owners from $35 to $135 per gross registered tonnage. He says the high charges will discourage fishing vessels from obeying the closed season. He wants governments to suspend the fee for the next 2 months when the closed season will be in force. Let's move to other stories. And over 350 meat sellers at the London market here in Accra do not have medical certificates. That's a discovery by the public health inspectors of the AMA, who stormed the market on Wednesday. A visit by the part of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign also, and it's revealed flagrant disregard for COVID-19 protocols, as many of them were not wearing face masks. The meat was being dressed in a dilapidated structure overtaken by cobwebs. Mano Kranting has more.
A heated argument between AMA officials and some traders at the London market at Jamestown as a Clean Ghana train hits the market on Wednesday. They had been ordered to clean the maggot-filled choked drains as part of the Assembly's Operation Clean Your Frontage. Joseph Asetanga is head of the AMA's Environmental Health Unit.
Okay, so whoever is here is responsible for the field that we are seeing here. We don't wait for anybody to come and clean for them. So they have to do it. And when they do it and we put them inside, regularly it will be in their mind that if we don't clean, AMA will come and put us inside the drain. And we'll make sure that they do it before we leave this place.
Definitely. And so just to put a bit of context to it, you heard the regional minister, Henry Korte, about a fortnight ago say that government was pursuing what it calls the Operation Clean Your Frontage. Well, he's been charging all the assemblies within the Greater Accra region to pass this particular regulation. Essentially, every single resident within the city of Accra will be responsible for the cleanliness of his or her frontage. And that's what we're dealing with now. They're asking them, this is their frontage, immediate frontage. They are to get into the drains and then clean them. And so that particular regulation is already in motion and people are being asked to clean their frontage.
This gentleman was arrested after he was caught in the act throwing rubbish into the drain.
Where are we taking him to?
This is our car inside.
This is your vehicle?
Yes.
But what has he done? What has he done? Your boss said,
You have put refuse into the drain, so you have been arrested for that.
Okay. But why did you put refuse in the drain? Me no okay, Jay will ball and gotan. And yes, I didn't know they go gotan.
But this was only after earlier checks revealed that almost all workers at the meat shop in the market had no medical certification.
Yeah, this is the London market meat shop. You can see the butchers busily handling the carcass. At this time we call it carcass because it's a slaughtered animal. So we are going to go into their operations. And visibly we can all see where they are operating. You can see that the structures under which they are operating, or some of them are operating in an open space, which they were supposed to be in a confined rooftop to prevent other contaminants getting access to the meat. But today we are entering here because we want to know why they are in this challenge and whether it is deliberate or they themselves feel that it is okay for them to be here. But the Public Health Department of AMA will not allow something that is contrary to the health and well-being of the consuming public. So whatever decision will be taken here, we will advise them to comply and rearrange to put up the structures and the needed requirements that will allow them to operate the business that they are doing here.
My name is Sule Dalad.
Sule.
Dalad.
Danlad?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sule Danlad, are you the head of the slaughterhouse, the meat shop here?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to find out, how many workers do you have in this particular meat shop?
You get to about more than 350.
350, roughly,
Yeah,
almost 400.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm taking you through the process under which we are supposed to have started. When I entered here, I showed you my ID card. This is my ID card. I would like to see your AMA health certificate. Every food handler has to undergo medical screening, and the medical screening will qualify you to get a certificate from AMA. Okay, and that certificate will be your guarantee and your document certifying that you are healthy to handle food for public consumption. I want to see if you have gone through that medication, then we can check from all your people.
You get problem about that card.
Pardon?
You get problem about that card.
What is the problem?
The problem be AM people go come here say they're going to do that card. I go organize the people, everybody go give the money to them. If they took the money go, they don't go bring this card again. I told everybody to come and do the thing because for that matter, some people they know the do. I tell them say, if he finish, I want them to tell something. If he finish, do the card, therefore come around. Has the one you know do, I tell them say if the one you know do, therefore take and go court. I tell them. That's all I tell them.
I support you.
So I know when somebody go do, then they leave somebody. Is no do.
After today, we are going to take you through vigorous and screening process to be able to get the car to operate in this shop.
So we're going to just try and get into the building with the team and then, look at the conditions for ourselves. Well, this is where your meat is prepared. This is where the meat you eat is prepared from. And so I just get a bit closer to Mr. Asitanga so he could take us through. So this is where the butcher is done.
This is the second phase of the meat shop. So all these people are part of you people.
Exactly.
And this is the condition under which you are operating here.
Actually, yeah, we used to sell only the eggs.
Only the
head. Then intestine because of the water.
Everything government. You generate income here yourself, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes.
And this is where all of you work to take care of your family. Yes. So, what prevents you from taking your initiative, your own initiative, to develop this place, make it very nice? At least when you develop here and make it nice, it will also increase the quality of meat you are selling to the public. It will also do what? Attract the public. That London Meat Shop is a safe place for you to go and buy meat. So if you are waiting for us to come, and we come, we will not allow this to be there. We will say stop because you don't want to keep the place clean. So if we stop you, are we wrong?
No.
Are we wrong to say you shouldn't sell meat here?
No.
So if I pass the law now, we should stop you from now. From today, nobody should come and sell here until you change the place. I think we are right.
Yes.
You are right.
Yeah.
You are going to go to the law court. For all of you operating here, nobody has any health certificate. You don't.
Health certificate.
Can I see yours? Health certificate. Can I see yours?
It has expired.
Yes. No. You say you have it. Look at this. This is 2015. It's expired.
This one is a new card.
No, but look at the time you did it. 2015. The card is valid for Oluwa. You can determine, we AMA, the law that will allow you to handle food for public consumption is only within the period of 1 year. And that is why you are subject to the screening per the period of 1 year. So if you do this in 2017, 2018, check yourself. How many years now?
2 years. But last year, let me explain. Last year it was a COVID day. COVID year. That was last year.
COVID year.
Yeah.
2019
was the COVID starting from March.
So you were selling?
We are not selling.
You were not slaughtering?
No. Because of the COVID, we don't have access to go and buy the cows.
But there's more to see here on the Joy Clean Ghana campaign as we get closer to the spot for inspection this morning. And so this is a spot where they wash. So these are external drains that are outside the meat shop.
It gets worse. The stench at the market was almost the same as that at the Aveno slaughterhouse. the meat being processed is left at the mercy of flies in the already dilapidated structure overtaken by cobwebs. Before we could leave, someone else caught our attention. A watchy seller at the exit of the market was dishing the food for sale. A bit of it fell to the ground and she picked it in an attempt to add it back to the wholesome pile. It took the intervention of the team to stop her.
Also, this woman sells wachi, and it's a delicacy prepared from the combination of rice and beans. It's a popular delicacy in Ghana where a bit of it just went straight to the ground, and we saw her pick it up in an attempt to put it back into the pile that was being prepared for the market. Well, an attempt has been made to stop her from adding it to the pile for market.
Okay. Now, how now we know what you know? We are what the where?
No watching us or only mammy Nakasa or one. A Hannah Munana Modicoton or no. Yes. Now, oh, aim cartway. A health card, no. Mammy wants one now. The minute mammy now, would there one yebi? Mammy yebi. On a wood one year, but who finds a woo year dran in the mirror. The Mitiaman no aton. Where Mitiaman no aton. I shall have you taken her name? Yes. Okay. And so, and then other antenna, who say, Unim say, Emra or say, but I say we don't know a patashi. Baby, at least a dranano, and yes, can say, once in an dust and I'll be. Catasso. Sir, now about the center. You are not the rubber night, customer swallowing the alcohol. No problem. When him say we see who Catasso, but I'm a bedroom and now a Joanna and Catasso. Staffing a meeting. Even a meeting a command. Now, so I buy me and say, Many we didn't come here, Shamene. I buy me and say, Obia Usura no pa, Mammy, Shamene and didn't come on, and yet Bonabia. Me and say, Usura no pa, Upia, some mask, go their way. Oh, Odao. Ubia when they are on fan to baby, then come here, Bahano, come there and made the office Namaba. Me what? I don't know once. Danny Bontina me, I don't know. I say, we say, ah, Ukra, way now. I say, I was protective clothing. April, she, and exposed. We need health certificate. The way now, Mrs. Zina, Mrs. Mamma, crying, I'm out there, cotton, my ebony. Madam, Mammy wants, I know, and how are you? Fine. Thank you. I told me Joseph Asitanga. If I was saying. Asibi Fati. Asibi Fati. Okay. Asibi Fati. Pacho. Una edane yode. Person me show AMA card, health card now. So we are now fine. We are now over to my bana for father. Me was. Oh. Now I don't know no. Ah, yes, minwa, mini baby, minwa was. Unwa. And minwa was. Sam crofuna mo be, minwa was de. But see you buy na higher na unna. Minwa kakra bi pa. Sam mo bisa de santi minwa kakra pe wa. Yeah, kakra. Ye loan say. Mati. Sa unim say eduane na wo ye wo ha na ye beton. E say wo ye baby fine. Ah wo betumi anu aduane ye bar kura na wo ye no wo baby a ye ne wo ye ni problem ye mfa won kasa. Ahefa be enne ha na ye beto say wo nu aduane. Say ye be pache. Eduane wo titi na bibia na ba eduane bi Otini na ebo from top from or the car. Me ba na ye so me anya me na me. Me kwa me yale po na mete onu no no ama me. Sorry, Tennessee ye si ma eduane we man fan koto oba yende. So me jina po me to me na impo me. Na ye yo. Me yale. Yo. Pacho. Me pacho me sram. Ene me yeso ye pacho. Me sram. Ye pacho. Next time you saba na eduane no haya na hoye no na otite a ye de ne na abako mati ye kasi haya mati ye betama de akoto chene na una abako mesrew wate mesrew e kofa o cart ne bra ne hwe
a caution has been issued to her to stop cooking the food in the open.
Abatement notices were issued to all offending traders. Reporting for Joy News, Manuel Cranting.
You're live on Joy News Desk with me, Daniel Daz. Remember, the Joy Clean Ghana campaign team is on the road. They could be in your area next. Now, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, has told government's decision to ban excavators as part of efforts to end illegal mining activities. And he says that this decision has the backing of the 1992 Constitution. Responding to questions on the floor of Parliament on the legal and policy justifications for the banning, which has been criticized by some lawyers, Mr. Jinapor said provisions in Articles 36 and 41 of the 1992 Constitution empowers the state and citizens to protect the environment. He says the burning as part of excavators constitutes efforts to protect the environment.
The instruction government has given to the security services of our country is to decommission and demobilize equipment, and I emphasize on that, all equipment which are used for mining illegally in the red zones, our forest reserves and our water bodies. That is the instruction of government. The security services then employ their own measures, whether it's through burning, it's through removing of parts, or what have you, to ensure that these equipments are demobilized and decommissioned so they don't have the opportunity to use them to perpetuate the illegality again. Activities of illegal mining is causing great havoc and great damage to our country. Our water bodies are being contaminated. If we don't take measures, very soon Ghana will become a net importer of water. Our forest reserves are being depleted. Our landscape is being degraded. And indeed, in the mining communities of our country, children are being born with so much issues, health issues. Some of them are deformed, and cocoa industry is collapsing because of illegal mining. We have ample legal justification to take the action that we are.
Now, obtaining soil information to make an informed decision has been a challenge to Ghana's poor small and medium-scale farmers. Loss of nutrients like nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus result in low crop yield. The Soil Research Institute, CSIR-SRI, has intervened in transforming all analog soil information in Ghana into an interactive soil web-based application platform. On Tech Thursday, Love FM's Kwesi Deborah looks at how this will enhance food security.
The application is a sustainable support system to modernize soil resources management. The platform contains digitized soil maps of specific locations, soil characteristics and appropriate requirements for key crops in each agroecological zone of Ghana.
This is the address.
Estimation of fertilizer requirement for a given area or a crop could be known in advance before project implementation. The Canadian government, through the Modernizing Agriculture in Ghana (MAG) program, financially supported the platform's development. This is meant to facilitate the government's initiative towards transforming the country's agriculture system. Dr. Emmanuel Dugan is lead scientist.
It's a virtually decision-making tool. It helps a farmer to see, oh, I have a plot of land. You have you have the coordinates, you generate it. Then say, oh, this place is rocky. It's a mountainous place. There is a crater, for instance, around Lake Bosomchin area. When you zoom it, you see that it's a crater, so rocks are there. Oh, if rocks are there, then it's likely the soil is shallow. Shallow means the root cannot go, there's underlying rock, so it's shallow. So there you cannot grow any deep-rooted crop. So you have an idea that if I'll grow crop, then I have to grow something like maize, something like vegetables, those shallow-rooted crops. I don't have to go in with tree crops, like you're going to grow oil palm. around the Lake Busumpi area. No, you don't. So this soil map will give you idea that, okay, I won't go in for oil palm. I'll go in for shallow-rooted crops.
Mark's ultimate goal is to develop a sustainable agriculture support for improved food security. This, therefore, called for increased adoption of relevant production-enhancing technologies and increased adoption of market-oriented approaches to farm management. Dr. Dugan said the institute is collaborating with Isoko Ghana to rope in more farmers to utilize the platform. He believes funding will be crucial in updating the system.
We want to be current as much as possible. As soil is being used, the properties keep changing, the physical, the chemical and biological properties. So we want to be current. So day in, day out, we want to go take sample, analyze and put in. Take sample, analyze and put in, So we are doing that. So we need funding for all this. We need money for all this. And it is so important for us to do so. In fact, we will save investors a lot of money if we put in there and tell an investor that, look, this 100-acre that you want to construct over here, nitrogen over there already in the soil is this much. So you save your resource instead of going to buy, you don't waste resources. It saves you some money before even you walk in.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
You're live on Joy News Desk with me, Daniel Daze. We'll be right back.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Local food juice manufacturing firm Ekumfi Juice has its counterclaims the factory has shut down its operations. Management of the company says it has only reduced the production capacity as a result of a drought that affected the raw material base. Now, some of the distributors of the product across the country have complained they are not getting the required supplies from the factory. But speaking to JoyNews' Richard Kojunyako, operations manager, Frederick Kopnakwa revealed the company has increased its pineapple plantation to enable a deal with the volumes of demand on their hands.
Some distributors of Eku Juice have complained the factory has reduced its production capacity and there are shortages on the market. Even though they have made payment for the product, the company has been unable to supply them. Many have even speculated the factory had shut down its operations. But operations manager of the factory, Frederick Kopnakwa, says the company hasn't shut down.
No, there's never been a shutdown. Okay, so this week, for example, there hasn't been any production because I checked the bricks levels that we use, and then we're going to have very small quantity to produce. For me, it would not make economic sense to push doing small quantities. So for this week, we've been down waiting to add to next week because no matter how small, you're going to turn on your boiler, you're going to turn on your air conditioners, you're going to fetch water, your lights will be on, etc. So if the quantities are not up to the volume that we expect, normally we consolidate in another week, and that's what happened this week. But there's never been a shutdown. What has happened in the past few months is that Central Region, at least our enclave, has experienced a drought, a long than normal drought. The rains have just come in, and if there's drought, it affects us in the sense that it's not just about the rains not coming, but also the dryness of the weather. And so it affected us. So we have been producing a little lower than normal. So we've not been able to supply, especially for some of our customers who have paid in advance. And for us, it's so wonderful for a new product that you have your distributors paying in advance.
He reveals the break has afforded them the opportunity to expand their production network.
So Wednesday we'll see a lot of the 5,000 acres that I'm talking about, but there are a lot more that have been done. You see, our business cases has always been such that whatever we are doing today is something that we have planned to do, or we have planned a year, because pineapple takes that long. So if you have a plan to do something this week, which you have planned a year ago, and something like a weather, like we have now, like a weather affecting you, definitely it will affect your production. But it affects it just in terms of the volumes that we will churn out, okay, but not the product itself running out completely.
On Wednesday, some distributors of the company's product, Eku would be going there to ascertain the level of production. Richard Kwejunya Akon, JoyNews, Ekumfi.
Now, insurance policyholders have been more responsive to insuring their assets amid COVID-19. That's according to Vice President of the Ghana Insurance Brokers Association, Shaibu Ali. His assertion comes on the back of a recent quarterly release of unaudited financials for 2020 by the National Insurance Commission, which revealed that regulated broking firms are still dominating Ghana's insurance intermediary space amid the pandemic, with 79 brokerage firms recording in excess of 112 million cedis in 2020, as against about 134 million cedis in 2019. Here's Shaibu Ali reacting to that report earlier.
One of the reasons might be that during the COVID era, people were a lot more afraid, so everybody was thinking about how to consolidate their assets and all that. But these are the figures. There's been a steady growth in the figures over time. What this trend is showing is that the 2020 figures are slightly, the 2021 figures up to the half year, slightly below those of the full year 2020. But we see how the year goes. By the time we get to the end of the year, we might see a clearer picture of it. Yeah.
And the irony of it, as you point out, when the pandemic broke, one of the business lines in the insurance sector we expected to be hit most was insurance brokerage. So what did the trick?
I want to believe that people or insured or clients were a lot more responsive to their assets and their lives because of the uncertainty that COVID came with.
And that's your business update for now. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We are monitoring the city's performance in the first half of this year, and it records 0.04% loss in the first half of this year. That's what it recorded. Also, Ghana ranked 3rd in Global Cybersecurity Index. You can read more about those stories and others on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. There's more to come after this break.
You're live on JoyNews Desk, and before we end the bulletin, as government begins a probe into the happenings at Ejura within the past few days, let's bring you a recount of those events specifically.
We have to take cover. Come. So one person has been shot, and you can see him in your shot there. One person has been shot, and the military contingent and the police are in here firing shots.
And those were events from last Tuesday's protest, which ended in gunshots. Of course, we're still following that story. We'll bring you more updates in later bulletins, and this is where we end this bulletin of Joy News today, of Joy News Desk. Pardon me. We're back at midday with Joy News today. Have a good day.